how to pay off debt fast. That's exactly what we're going to be covering right here in this video, so let's get right into it. All right, now first off, I completely recognize there's about 8,000 different strategies to pay down debt. It all comes down to a variety of factors, including your personal situation and, of course, your own personality. So maybe you'll choose to use the strategy I'm going to share with you right here in this video, or maybe after you learn about this one, you might look at it and think, no, this one doesn't work for me. That's totally fine. This is not a one-size-fits-all strategy. However, it does work pretty well. So let's get into it and discuss all the details. Now, first off, I just want to take a minute here and talk about what most people typically do to pay down debt and why it typically does not work very well at all. So here's what most people do to pay down debt. And again, this is not necessarily a wrong thing to do, but rather it just takes a very long time and it is not very effective at all, which is exactly why I want to share with you a better strategy in this video. And again, hopefully it helps you out if you want to start using it. If not, that's totally fine. But let's quickly talk about what most people do to pay down debts. So most people look at their debt situation and they say, okay, I have 5 different debts on the table right now. Maybe, for example, they say, okay, I have an auto loan on my car, I have 2 credit cards with an outstanding balance, I have a personal loan, and maybe some kind of other debt product out there or some type of other loan. Therefore, 5 loans that this person has or debts that they have. As a result of that, the person goes forward with their life and they go out and they work and work and work, earn all the money that they can during the time of the month, and then of course they pay down all their necessities and bills, things like this, and then all of a sudden they come to the end of the month and they think, great, I have an extra $500 this month. I'm going to take $100 and apply it towards each of my debts so that I'm paying down each of my debts by $100 each across my 5 debts. Now again, there's nothing wrong with that strategy. However, implementing this strategy is a very long road. It takes a very, very long time to pay down debts doing this strategy. So that's what most people do. And again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It just takes a very long time. And honestly, it gets to be very, very discouraging because as you continue to look at your balances every single month, are they budging? Well, not really. A teeny tiny bit. They're going down a little tiny bit. And it becomes very discouraging because it doesn't really seem like you're making any progress on the debts. However, now let's quickly get into it and talk about this other strategy that I want to share with you in this video. And again, this is not brain surgery. This is not rocket science. This is nothing special here. It is simply just another strategy that you can apply that is actually a lot more effective than spreading out all your money and servicing all of your debts simultaneously. Here's what it comes down to. And by the way, some of these other gurus out there right now that talk about paying off debt and all kinds of things like this, they talk about stuff very similar to this as well. And I want to share this with you because it is a very highly effective strategy. So here's what it comes down to. Let's just go back to the person that I talked about just a second ago that has 5 debts. Maybe go through your personal situation and look at all of your debts. Now look at all of them side by side and say, categorize them from highest to lowest. So now you have this categorized list of all your debts, right? So let's just say across the board, for example, those 5 debts that I was just talking about, the person that I was talking about just a minute ago. Let's just say this person has 5 debts and the debts range from, say, $12,000 on the auto loan. The credit card is $8,000. Another credit card is, say, $5,000. The personal loan is, say, $3,000, and some other type of debt is, say, $1,000. So these are all the debts that they have. Okay, now that we have this process, so here's what the better strategy would be to do. Now again, you can do whatever works best for you and your situation, but the idea behind this would be to go forward with all of your, throughout the course of the month and pay the minimums on all of your debts, except for the very smallest of your debts. In this example that I just gave you is a $1,000 debt, right? So basically what you do is you pay all of the minimums on them so that you don't incur any type of penalties or anything like that. You pay the minimums, and then you take all of that extra money and you pile it toward the lowest balanced debt that you actually have. In this example, like I was just saying, it is the $1,000 debt. So let's just say, for example, across all of these debts, let's just say the minimum payment is, say, $200 across all of them, right? So the 4 debts, the $10,000 debt, the $8,000 on the credit card, the $5,000 on the credit card, and the $3,000 on the personal loan that I was talking about in the example just a minute ago. Let's just say in total, across all 4 of these, the minimum payment is $200 cumulatively across all of them, $200. That means at the end of the month, this person, in my example that I'm giving here, would still have an extra $300 left at the end of the month. Guess what? You take that $300 and you plow it toward the $1,000 debt. Guess what? That $1,000 has now become $700. Guess what? It's only going to take you a little over 3 months to pay that debt down to zero. Not bad, right? Yeah. So let's just say you go forward again. Now same situation. Another month goes by. You again service all of the minimums on the top 4 debts. And then again, you have an extra $300 left over because you paid the $200 for the minimums for the top 4, the most expensive debts that you have. And then you have an extra $300 left. Now your balance on the lowest debt is $700. Guess what? Now you have another $300 that you get to plow toward that. Now it goes from $700 to $400. Pretty encouraging, right? Yeah, right? So now you have $400 left, or $400 left on that balance. Now let's just go forward. Let's just say another month and a half. Well, now all of a sudden, another month goes by, and you plow another $300 toward that debt. Now you're at $100. Pretty cool, right? Now it's only going to take you a short amount of time, and then you can pay off that entire debt completely. Gone. That's it. Now what do? Do you go out and party and celebrate? I guess you could if you wanted to. You could if you wanted to, but be careful so you don't bring that debt right back. But now what you do is you work your way up the ladder. So now you had 5 debts, now there becomes 4. Now you're working up the way up to this $3,000 debt, right? It's the same strategy now. Pay the minimums on the top 3 debts in this example. So again, the $10,000, the $8,000, and the $5,000. Continue to pay the minimum debts on that. And again, let's just say that it is, at this point, you've eliminated the lowest debt on there, which was the $3,000 debt. So let's just say that now your minimums cost, say, $150 per month. So now you have an extra $350 that you get to apply toward the $3,000 debt. And again, only focus on that one. Plow all of the extra money into that $3,000 debt. At this rate, it's only going to take you, about 8 months or so to pay that whole thing off? Not bad. So in a year's time, you've gone from having 5 debts, and now you've gone down in a year's time where you've eliminated the bottom 2 debts, $1,000 from that miscellaneous debt, and the other $3,000 personal loan, you've paid all that off. Kind of see how this is going? So as you continue to pay off these debts, you just continue to work your way up the ladder to the next higher balance that you have. And eventually, you'll get your way all the way up to that $10,000 balance in this example like I'm giving you for the auto loan. So again, not like rocket science here. We're not talking about anything sophisticated. This is nothing crazy, super simple stuff. Basically, all you're doing is paying the minimums on your balances so that you don't incur any kind of penalties. Don't stop paying them. That's not what I'm saying at all. Make sure you're paying at least the minimums so you're not racking up all kinds of penalties. And then, of course, just attack that lowest debt as quickly as possible, pay it all off, and then scale up once again, go to the next highest debt, and continue on and on and on. And as you continue this way, you're going to get momentum. Why? Because you're getting pretty encouraged, right? You're going to start to see the progress. All of a sudden, you went from 5 debts to 4, and then there was 3, and then there was 2. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, hey, wait, my car's paid off. What happened? I don't have any credit card debt. I don't have any personal loans. My car's paid off. Pretty cool stuff, right? Now you're working the gravy train, right? So that's what it all comes down to. Super basic stuff, but I wanted to share this with you because, like I said earlier in the video, a lot of people go out there and try to pay down all their debts simultaneously. Nothing wrong with that, but at the end of the day, it's really discouraging when you go out there and you look at your balance every single month, just like looking at your mortgage statement, right? If you have a mortgage, you look at your statement every month and you think, wow, this is awesome. I'm pretty sure I just paid $1,000 toward my mortgage last month, and I'm pretty sure the balance went down by like $500 or like $100. You know what I mean? It does not go down very much at all. So it becomes very discouraging to start paying on these things because ultimately it takes forever to get there. Which, by the way, in this example that I'm giving you, this is excluding your home because obviously if you want to pay off your house, that's a big task. That's going to be a very big feat. So as a result of that, focus on consumer debts. When it comes down to your home or a mortgage, something like that, that is ultimately the last debt. Focus on consumer debt first. The reason for that is the interest rates on consumer debts is very high, and generally the interest rates on a home, you're working with a much larger balance, is generally a lot smaller as well, as in the interest rate. The balance is a lot bigger, the interest rate is lower, but that one's going to take you a lot longer to pay off. Focus on the consumer debts. Consumer debts being credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, student loans, all kinds of things like this. These are consumer debts. Get rid of those as quick as you can. And again, use this strategy if you feel like it works best for you and your personality. If not, that's fine. Like I said, I can come back in 7,999 more videos and talk about other strategies to pay down debts. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit. I don't really know if there's 8,000 strategies. The point is, there's a lot of different strategies to pay down debt. This is just one of them. It is highly effective. It does work pretty well, and it is a pretty cool strategy that helps you gain momentum to start paying down debts really relatively quickly and ultimately kind of get encouraged, right? It's pretty nice to see some of these bills getting off the table. So you no longer get that envelope in your mailbox every single month saying, hey, send us a check. You can say, hey, get lost, right? So anyway, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So I hope this video helps you out. Again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, especially if you know somebody that is struggling in debt right now. Super basic video, but again, I hope this strategy helps you out to better understand how you can attack that debt very easily and get it off your table, get it out of your face so you don't ever have to look at it or deal with it again. And ultimately, over the course of maybe 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, something like this, you can look back and think, wow, that was a powerful strategy and it paid down a lot of my debts really, really fast. It's pretty encouraging. So anyway, try it out if you're interested. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so. Share this video with your friends, family, social media. And like I said, anybody that you think is struggling with some debt right now, share this video with them. You never know. Maybe they'll start implementing this strategy and get out of their debt situation that they're currently in. And of course, go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. So again, thanks so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again.